So, with regards to your love of whimsical things, how is that taking center stage in your life today?
Hmm. Oh, very good question. So I will say there was a moment when I was a teenager where I look back on, and I've mentioned this several times. Like I think one of the best moments in my life was when I got grew up enough to learn to play again.
Mhm.
You know, and that was like getting over ye old sadly unavoidable pitfall of taking yourself way too seriously when
Mm.
you're like a teenager. You know, c'est la vie. Um, there's photographic evidence that never needs to be shown on that. But like there was just a point, I think I was actually still a teenager, but later in my teenage years, where I think I was just like walking with a friend of mine, and we just were walking past the school and we just went on the playground. And like it was like a great like evening, and like we just
Mhm.
swung on the swings, and like played on the monkey bars, and
Mhm.
it was just so much fun, and it was so freeing and delightful. And I love that moment happened in a profound way, because I think I was able to carry that through life. So there's
Mm.
that sort of thing has like driven a lot of what I do in terms of those, like, what am I learning for my birthday this time? I'm gonna go do
Mhm.
this, gonna go do this. And like keeping that in life. And fortunately that like brought me right into a career in theater. Like some of my favorite things I've ever built have been sets with like secret tunnels. There's this opera where I don't remember the opera. I'm sorry. I can tell you it took place at Opera Theater St. Louis. And we had to build a giant nest with 3 eggs that were like yay big, that we then had to cut because choral members had to like pop out of them as chicks. And like the props people like teching through that, there's the photos of us like in the prop shop, like in it, and then like popping out and being like, and there's like all these fun things you got to do. I had to build a giant table that I got to sit on. There's a photo of me doing that somewhere. I had to build a car that was really cool. It was actually a working electric car. That's like a crowning piece of my portfolio. It was a really cool build. But just like having to build crazy stuff. And in theater, it can get, or in the entertainment industry, I did theater. I did, everything from Broadway down to community theater, um, touring shows, museum displays, the Macy's windows one year I worked on, the Christmas windows, conventions. Conventions are often in that theater world, that
Mhm.
sort of fabrication scenic world. And like a lot of times it can be very frustrating. Like you have to build something that you might not be interested in. You have to build it to someone else's often possibly unreasonable expectation.
Never.
Never. You deal with a lot of very artistic personalities that can be very big and very strong. And keeping that sort of sense of wonder, I think, really helps you not become sort of jaded. You're dealing with very tight timelines. You never have the money you want to really finish anything to your full satisfaction. And so you can either just fall back and just kind of clock in and clock out and like be like, oh, I'm building a 20-foot armoire, like, all right. Or you can be like, I'm building a 20-foot armoire that like a person rolls out of as if they're, this big, and like that's cool. It's kind of fun. And so I think keeping that sense of wonder really helped. And when I eventually sort of like left the entertainment industry, which I fully did about 5 years ago,
Mhm.
um, and then I still coach part time, but I started building a business, and this is like maybe the third or fourth time I've kind of like started this, but I was able to fully commit this time. Which is a lot of luck, honestly, like happenstance, like where I am, the fact that Danny can support us while I do this, a lot of that, the
Mhm.
support network I have, the people I know, there was a lot that just came together perfectly. But when I started building stuff, sort of a custom fabrication business, I was doing a lot of very what I would deem boring things, built-ins and shelves and tables and fine, but like I was just like I wasn't happy, and I was having a struggle with that. I was struggling with that because I was like, you're finally kind of doing what you want.
Mhm.
You're not beholden to anyone. You can build this any way you want. Why are you so dissatisfied?
Hmm.
And it was that missing layer of whimsy, of fun, of art, of creativity, of play. And so I was very lucky to meet a client that I'm working with right now. who really helped me. She also like functions as my business coach. It really helped me kind of like focus down what I want to do. And we're doing like a giant built-in in her playroom, and the center one rotates as a secret door into an office, kind of thing. And then I realized that like really I just want to build scenery like in your house. That's what I want to do. So we just need some like theater magic, like hidden door, like magic staircase, the island opens up and it's actually a wine cellar. Your kids need a climbing wall, like it's a tree but you can climb it. Cargo net floors, you need a tree house, like need a slide next to the staircase, stuff like that. And like adding that back in has been the missing ingredient.